I think that's the speaker.
Okay. Judge, you ready?
You're on mute. Judge, you're on mute. You have to unmute yourself.
All right, Ms. Lewis.
Can you hear me? We can hear you now.
Okay.
You good? You ready to start?
Yes, I'm on my phone, so don't know what's going on with the county laptop.
Well, I know there's been some issues with the security, cyber, whatever. Some other agencies and stuff, whatever got issues. But they said that we didn't have none, but who to say?
Yeah, I can't, I think Microsoft had some problems
Yeah,
today too.
Microsoft did have some problem. They were attacked too. Yeah, I saw that.
Let me see how I get this screen
Oh,
off.
but we can see you and we can hear you.
Okay. Let me change my setting. I can't see anybody else for some reason. It's trying to change my view. Uh,
I guess you could go to like gallery view, I guess.
I'm trying to even find that.
It
I
may
haven't
not,
been
it
on.
may not, it may not allow you to you're on your phone. It only probably, can you see me when I'm talking? Because sometimes it'll just pop up for the person that's talking.
Nope, I don't see anything. All I have is my screen. Okay, I'll just go forward. Y'all just have to be my eyes. Apply. Let's see. I don't know what's going on. Okay. I cannot see. So all I can see is myself.
Can you, can you log on your computer to YouTube and it's live stream from there and you can see everybody from there.
Let me try that.
You just send the link. You know what the link is? I mean, it's on YouTube. I could just give you the name, how it's listed.
All right, let me go into Google Chrome because the laptop will not let me get into Zoom for some reason.
Hmm.
And I don't like this view because I can't see anybody.
So did you ever try to?
Wait, now I can. Now I can.
You can see everybody now? Oh, okay. Okay.
Don't ask me what I did, but I won't
Okay,
touch
well, we're
anything.
gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll. You got Miss Grace today as your LM, so we're gonna roll with it.
All right, let's go, Miss Grace. I will do my opening and we'll get started. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We're going to begin our Fulton County State Court Expedited Accusations calendar. This is a calendar for cases in which individuals have been recently arrested and charged with certain misdemeanor offenses. Soon after their arrest, the Fulton County Solicitor General's office has already accused the cases of the offenses brought against them, and the case has been bound over to the Fulton County State Court. Nevertheless, this will usually be the defendant's initial appearance before a state court judge, so we are able to address several matters, including bond, possible arraignment, and a possible plea offer if one has been made by the state at this juncture. I'll also be providing a reset date for arraignment. What is that date?
August the 1st, Judge.
August 1st. All
Yes.
right, August 1st is the SAP reset date. I'm going to begin by advising everyone that this whole entire proceeding is being recorded as well as live streamed on YouTube. Also want to remind the defendants that you have certain constitutional rights. The first being that you have a right to representation, and you should know who your attorneys are by this time and have spoken to them. Please listen to them when they instruct you on what you need to do. Also, you do have the right to remain silent. Remember that anything that you state about the facts and circumstances or the occurrences of your case can and will be held against you. So govern yourselves accordingly. All right, let's get started. Who do we have first, deputies?
We can go to position number 6, Miss Jordan.
Okay.
Hello.
This is position 6, 24 CR 004866Y, Aries Jordan. Charged at 1 count of harassing communications. Pretrial.
Yes.
Fourth arrest, 2024 open case. Criminal trespass, terrorist threats, 2022 disorderly conduct, trespass nolo. 2021 interference with government property, terrorist threats dismissed. That's all.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred between October 25th and October 30th, 2022. The defendant is accused of calling LaShawn Render and other Emory University Midtown operators about 113 times. The defendant was harassing and threatening the operators, and she had been a patient at the hospital on August 24th of 2022. Our office has had a chance to speak with the victim, LaShawn Render, who works as an operator at Emory Hospital, and did confirm the events in the warrant. She stated that she can't recall exactly what threats the defendant made. She doesn't know the defendant, and she doesn't know why she kept calling and harassing operators, but she does not believe there have been any recent calls made from the defendant. The state's recommendation is a signature bond through pretrial services, no further contact with LaShawn Render, no further contact with Emory University Midtown operators except for medical necessity. Stay away from Emory University Midtown, except of course for any type of medical necessity, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
All right. Is this PD Cook?
Yes, Your Honor, we have no objection to the state's recommendation.
All right, I will order a $2,500 signature bond through pretrial level per judge, level 1.
Do
I'm
two,
going.
please.
I'm sorry, level
Do
2.
two.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because she got the open case anyway. That's why I said per judge.
Okay. Level 2. I'm going to ask her to have no further contact with LaShawn Render or any of the operators at Emory Hospital Midtown. She is to stay away from that location unless she has a medical emergency or necessity to be there. If she does not, she should not go to Emory Midtown and should not call there again and have no interaction with the operators, switchboard people there. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I believe that'll be it for now.
Let's see. Next, we go to position number 9, Miss Jalissa Powell.
'24 CR 004869A, Jalissa Powell, charged with 1 count of battery, pretrial.
Third arrest, 2023 battery. That's open in state court. 23 CR 003715A. Had a 2021 battery reduced to disorderly conduct conviction. I'm not sure if it's the same victim.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. The victim in the previous battery is a Yakira Hand. It's a different victim. This incident happened on May 29, 2024 at Checkers, located at 1449 Donnelly Ave, Southwest. Victim in this case is a Shayla Jean Williams. Officers responded to a call regarding a physical altercation. They spoke to the victim, Ms. Williams. She stated that she was outside of her job, the checker, smoking a cigarette, when the defendant aggressively approached her and started to strike her with a fist. As she was trying to defend herself, bystanders broke up the fight. She suffered several lacerations to the face. Our office has been in contact with Ms. Williams. She stated that she is in a relationship with the defendant's child's father. She said she does not know her. She's never seen or spoken to the defendant before this incident, and this incident location is her job. She was just standing outside of the location when the defendant pulled up, jumped out the car, and began attacking her. She sustained a gash on her forehead and scratches to her cheek. The state is looking for, I believe the previous open incident had a $3,000 surety bond for the battery. So the state is looking for a $5,000 surety bond here. No further contact with the victim, Shayla Jane Williams. A stay away from Miss Williams' job. The checker is located at 1449 Donnelly Ave Southwest. 1 day anger awareness, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while on bond. And we can sound for Miss Williams when appropriate. I believe she's on the Zoom.
All right, Ms. Williams, are you on the Zoom?
Hi, yes, I
Do you wish to address the court today, yes or no? Ms. Williams? Do you
yes,
wish?
I'm sorry. Yes,
All right, I'm gonna swear you in first. Raise your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
yes,
Okay. And I think, are you in the car maybe? I'm only
yes.
seeing like your nose and mouth. Okay, that's better.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you see me?
Yes. All right.
Hey,
And let me ask you two questions. Are you in fear of Miss Powell?
yes,
And do you want to have any more contact with Miss Powell?
no, none at all.
Okay. Good. All right. We've got that. I don't have any more questions. Any questions from either of the attorneys?
No.
That was for them. None from the state.
I
All right.
I'm sorry, I do have a question.
Okay. Let's see what that is, if I can answer it.
I wanted to know why weren't the guns talked about?
Guns?
Yes.
Hold on a second. State, do you have anything in the police report, the warrant about guns?
I did not, but I'll double check. I got the incident report later. I didn't see anything about guns, but give me a second to double check.
Did she have guns with her at the incident?
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor, that's not
It
in the
was
warrant.
That is not true.
Hold on.
I don't know what this girl talking about.
Well, what I've just ordered was no guns or weapons while on bond. And what I can add to that is that if she has any guns in her possession, if and when she makes bond, then she must turn them over to the Fulton County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, and I don't have anything in the incident report,
Okay.
yeah, I don't have anything regarding guns.
So hopefully, Ms. Powell, that will ease you a little bit. She's not supposed to have any in her possession while on bond. And so that is the best I can do because it is not in any of the reports that I have.
yes, I told the detective I'm not sure why it wasn't stated, but I will go over it.
Okay. And then again, if she makes bond and she comes near you, then you need to call the police because that would be a violation of her bond. I'm going to
Your Honor,
okay, you've got to go your way, and I apologize. I did not let her attorney present. Let her attorney present first. Go ahead, PD Ty. I'm sorry.
thank you, Your Honor. My client is 28 years old. She has lived in Georgia all her life. She does have two minor children, a 1-year-old and a 9-year-old. She is also pregnant right now, and it's a high-risk pregnancy. She does have eclampsia, which she needs basically bi-weekly medical care. She has ultrasounds, that she needs to attend. She is under the care of two different doctors, one for the unborn child and one for herself to treat, things that can happen with eclampsia, which can threaten her life and the child's life, seizures, high blood pressure, swelling, and it is a very high risk pregnancy, Your Honor. She has been in custody in Clayton County this is her 7th day in custody. She was taken into custody in Clayton County for a tag or a traffic violation, and has missed at least 2 ultrasounds, Your Honor. And also not being able to take care of her 2 children. She is gainfully employed. She works for MARTA Mobility as a bus driver, and she has missed 1 week of work. She does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant, and of course we deny any allegations of a weapon. It's not mentioned anywhere in the warrant at all. I would ask, she's recommended for a signature bond through pretrial services at level 2, and due to her high-risk pregnancy, it's a severe and life-threatening medical condition. I would ask for a signature bond through pretrial services. She's recommended for a level 2, but even if it's at level 4, I would ask for the signature bond. Of course, a stay away and no further contact. This incident allegedly occurred May 29th, 2024. So it has been some time. And I wouldn't object to a 1-day anger awareness, even if it has to be a 2-day anger awareness, so that she can get a signature bond through pretrial services. And of course, no weapons, nothing further.
Your Honor, if I might, I just reviewed the jailing documents. There's no medical anything. There's no documentation of any issues medically. We would like to see some proof of that before that's considered by the court. Knowing our jail, they won't accept people if you have, a sprained wrist. They'll send you to Grady.
That's not true.
Okay, thanks for your input. And I would
You're
like
welcome.
to point out to the judge, I would like to point out to the court that this young lady was on bond and has a current open case for an assault on another woman, very similar, an assault on her at her place of business based on her being disrespectful to a family member. The defendant is on video showing up with a ski mask on. That ski mask was ripped off during the assault on the victim, Mrs. Hand. That's the 23 CR 003715A case that she currently is out on a $3,000 surety bond. She also has a conviction for disorderly. She was allowed to plead to disorderly instead of battery after she attacked the roommate of a family member, again, coming in to fight people because they did something to someone she knows. That's 21 CR 006185A. She is also on video in that situation, assaulting, holding someone down and striking them. The victim in that case was Ashanique Cooper, someone's roommate that she's related to. The defendant, similarly, in our case, was identified through a 6-person photo lineup. This young lady wasn't on the scene when the incident was reported that she's been arrested for today, but there was video of a portion of it. There were bystanders, and ultimately the victim was able to identify the defendant in a 6-person lineup. So we would argue not only is she not eligible for a good bond, not eligible for an SOB based on the new law, SB 63, she shows that she doesn't care about the requirements of the court, is in violation of a current bond for an assault on someone else, and has a prior violent conviction for a very similar incident.
Your Honor, she has one misdemeanor conviction for disorderly conduct.
Yep, that's the one I just talked about.
The other cases are open, Your Honor, and it's a violent conviction, but for disorderly conduct. And the other case are open. And she is recommended by pretrial services, and Howard, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the report that I see, she's recommended for a signature bond at level 2.
Battery with with visible injury is a restricted offense.
It can go through pretrial services.
That's the position of the court, I believe, not the position of the state. And we don't think it's appropriate in this situation, but thank you.
You don't need to keep thanking me.
Okay, ladies. Let me say this. I am concerned about her health, but I'm even more concerned that there is no documentation of that.
Your Honor, I just haven't been able to get documentation. If that is the issue, I'm sure that I can get documentation of her health condition, of the high-risk pregnancy. She told me about it in detail, of all the appointments that she's been missing for the last 7 days that she's been in custody. And I'm sure that if I get a chance to speak with her, I can get a phone number of a family member who has access to that documentation. She, of course, is not able to provide me, and I didn't get details from the doctors.
Well, what I'm saying is if she was in Clayton County and it was documented there in the transfer to Fulton, we would know it. Deputies in courtroom 2, is she in the infirmary? Or is she in general population?
She's in general population, Your Honor.
Okay, can you tell if she's pregnant? Did she let you all know she's pregnant?
She did say that she was pregnant.
Okay. Did she tell you it was high risk?
Medical. No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. I'm going to and that's very important to me because I understand and know how the jails operate if someone is pregnant, let alone high risk and all these other things going on that you state. I don't doubt that they may be going on, but I'm not for sure if it's as urgent as you say. Is she 2 or 3 months or farther than that?
She's 4 months pregnant.
Okay.
And like I said, Your Honor, I'm sure if, I mean, we can hold off on the order until I can call the jail again. She's stating right now that she told the people at medical at Rice Street that she's pregnant. So I'm sure they have some documentation of the pregnancy or her alerting the.
Well, I'm not disputing the pregnancy. What I'm disputing is the high risk and the other medical conditions which should have landed her in the medical area.
And Your
as
Honor,
opposed to
she's also, I'm sorry, she works for MARTA Mobility, and she states that she has already made arrangements with her work because of having to miss so much work for because of the high risk pregnancy. So it's not something that she's making up right now.
Well, I think she should have been screaming that to the jail when they brought her there. Or
Everyone
transferred
is.
and let
Excuse
alone. Hold on a second. Let alone she has an open case, and this is the 3rd arrest for the same type of offense. And I take issue with that. One last comment from the victim, and it better be about this case. Ms. Williams?
Yes, I hear both of you guys' side, but I feel like she knew that she was pregnant while she was outside jumping on me. It's her pregnancy is probably high risk because she was out there jumping on me like that. So if someone cared about their life and their children's life, they wouldn't be out there just outlandishly beating up somebody if you were pregnant.
Okay, thank
I
you.
have 2 kids myself, so I definitely care about my kids, and I just feel like she don't care about her kids or her life if you can be outside doing things like that.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to take everything into consideration, give my ruling. And hold on a second. And I'm going to order a $5,000 surety bond. And with that surety bond, I'm going to order a stay away from the victim, Ms. Williams. I'm going to order no further contact with Ms. Williams. And I'm sorry, a stay away from the checkers as well as Ms. Williams' residence. I'm going to order that she not have any guns, alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And if Ms. Powell, do you have any guns in your possession or at your home? If you make bond, you need to turn over those weapons to the Fulton County Sheriff's Department immediately. You're to stay 200 yards away from Miss Williams, which is 2 football fields. See her coming, you go the other way. I guess that's all I'll order at this time.
Your Honor, we wouldn't object to, a modification request if documentation is presented that this young woman is medically fragile and needs to be in a hospital instead of in the jail. I just question why that determination hasn't been made before now when she's been in the care of the state.
I agree.
We're open.
Especially if we're talking about 7 days a week. And if Clayton County didn't find it out or weren't told, it does make me wonder. And I am cautious about it, but I will entertain it as well if someone can come up with that documentation. She may be high risk, but she may not need to be in a hospital. So I don't know. But if we get documentation, PD Atai, not just missing doctor's appointments, but high risk where she needs to be in a hospital, then I will consider that a bond modification as well. Thank you. Next case.
Position number 10 and 11, Miss Jessica Roberts.
This is 24 CR 004870C. He's charged with 1 count of criminal trespass and damage to property. That looks like May 28th, 2023. Second case, 24 CR 004871C. She's charged with 1 count of battery. That offense date is June 16th, 2024.
Fifth arrest, 2023 trespass, battery, disorderly conduct, felony obstruction out of Clayton County that appears to be open. 2022 FTA, 2022 simple battery against police, and wanted out of Clayton County.
Yeah, I'll start with the battery. That was June 16, 2024. Location was, I believe, 166 Anderson Avenue Northwest in Atlanta. The victim in that case is a Karen Booker. Ms. Booker called the police in regards to a physical dispute with her neighbor, the defendant. She stated she was sweeping outside her door and made her way downstairs. Who defendant is downstairs neighbor. And as she was sweeping, the defendant came out of her apartment with her child. They exchanged some words. The defendant put the child back in the apartment and came back outside, started tussling with Miss Booker and hit her in the face with a broom, causing a knot to her forehead. The state is looking for a $2,000 surety bond. No further contact with the victim, Ms. Karen Booker. I believe she lives, if she still lives there, then I won't ask for the stay away. I believe she's the downstairs neighbor. If she doesn't, then the stay away from 166 Anderson Ave Northwest in Atlanta. I'm sorry. 1 day anger awareness, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And did you want me to speak to the criminal trespass as well?
They're different victims, I assume.
Yes.
Okay, let's do one at a time.
Okay.
PD Atai.
We are on position 10.
11.
Or we started with 11. The
She
battery.
did. Yeah, the state started with 11.
Okay, Your Honor. In this, well, my client is 36 years old, and this is for the battery. She has lived in Georgia all her life. She is the mother of 2 minor children, a 14-year-old and a 5-year-old. She does work full-time at a daycare. She firmly denies the allegations in the warrant. She states that she was defending herself. She states that this is her neighbor, and this incident allegedly occurred June 16th, 2024. She says her neighbor was sweeping outside and coming towards her with the broom, even swept over her foot with the broom and swept a lot of whatever. She stated it was salt that she was sweeping. She was sweeping it all over her, and that she hit her with the broom. And she said that I'm giving you bad luck by sweeping over your feet with the broom. So, Your Honor, she was defending herself. She states that this complaining witness is much larger than her, about 300 pounds, and was the one out there with the broom and made the initial contact with her. She They haven't had any incidents since then. She does live at 166 Anderson Avenue with her two minor children. So of course, I would object to a stay away, which the state didn't request. No further contact is fine. They can avoid each other. And I would ask, she has 0 convictions, no misdemeanor convictions. So I would ask for a signature bond through pretrial services, and I believe she is recommended for a pretrial bond, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I could just check something 1 second. I know Ms. PD Abden mentioned she doesn't have any convictions, but I'm just trying to see if that simple battery is open. So
Mhm.
1 second.
Your Honor, it is open, and I asked her about that, and she states that she denies that she states that they have the wrong person, and she looks forward to fighting those charges, Your Honor. And she also tells me that she does have video and witnesses from this day, June 16th, 2024.
I'm going to order the $2,000 surety bond. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Stay away from 166 Anderson Avenue. No further contact with the victim, Karen Booker.
Your Honor, the state didn't request, they said that they would not request a stay away since she lives there.
Oh, this 166 is her address?
Yes.
All right. Do we have an address for Miss Booker?
They're neighbors.
Yeah, they're
Well, does she live next door down the street?
above her. Ms. Booker lives on the apartment above her, I believe.
Well, I want to make sure this is over. Well, it's June 16th. Oh, today is July. I'm assuming it's over, but I don't want to put the victim in any compromising situation again, especially when they think the case is over because there's been a bond hearing. Any state, you all haven't had any contact with Miss Booker?
No, we said no further contact.
No, I mean, have you had any contact with her?
Oh, no. We weren't able to reach her. Let me just double check with the victim advocate.
And even though it may have been in June, I'm assuming it's over, but I don't like to assume.
No, we were unable to contact her, Your Honor, and I'm just double checking to see if there's apartment number specifically in here, but I don't believe there was.
They should have put apartment numbers, but I know sometimes they don't.
No, I don't have apartment numbers on this incident report.
Okay, well, there won't be a stay away, but don't like it, but I guess we'll see if you all can reach Miss Booker and find out what's going on. Hopefully she's not in any danger. So there's not a stay away, but there is no further contact. So being that as it may, no further contact with Ms. Booker, so stay as far away from her as you can. Let's hear about the next case.
Sorry, Hannah. This incident happened on May 28, 2023 at 2020 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, Northwest. The person who called the police is a Taylor Huff. She's the apartment manager for this complex. She stated the defendant, kicked down the door of the unit she was renting instead of paying for a locksmith, damaging the lock and frame. They have the incident on video. The state is looking for a signature bond through pretrial, a stay away from the 2020 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard Northwest. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons while on bond. The state did talk to Ms. Huff. She stated that she confirmed the events of the warrant. She stated the defendant was removed from the property after the incident, never paid for the damages, and she hadn't seen or spoken to the defendant since. We'll also just add a no further contact with Taylor Huff, even though she hasn't seen her since. Nothing else from the state.
And you said no stay away?
No, I asked for a stay away. I believe that's her old apartment, the 2020 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard. They said she was removed after this incident, so we're just gonna request a stay away.
Okay. All right. Petey, your tie?
Yes, Your Honor. She does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. I guess this happened 1 year ago, Your Honor. And I guess she was kicked out of the apartment. She was trying to get into her own house. And I would ask for a signature bond through the jail for this charge.
All right. I will grant a $2,500 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with the victim, Ms. Huff. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Anything else?
And there's nothing for the stay away, Judge?
No stay away.
Thank
They
you.
say it was her old apartment. So I don't know, does Ms. Huff still live there? I'm not clear on that.
She's the apartment manager. I'm unaware if she actually lives at the location.
Okay. Well, we won't do a stay away, just no further contact.
Next, we have position number 12. Mr. Sutton.
Okay. This is 24 CR 004872E. Reginald Sutton, charge of 1 count of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, failure to observe traffic laws, driving while license suspended or revoked.
28 total. Officer, what was the felony bond, you know? They muted. We got an open
I'm
case.
sorry, it was 9,500.
95. Okay. 2024 open case in Fulton. It says resist, obstruct, oppose law enforcement officers on duty with animal or human bodily fluids.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't know. Suspended license as well. That's an open 2022 case, that suspended license. You said Sutton, right?
Yes, Reginald
Okay.
Sutton.
2022 suspended license, 2018 probation, 2018 theft by taking possession of tools, entering auto, 2016 pointing pistol at another, unauthorized discharge of a firearm conviction, 2015 suspended license conviction. State, do you have the same history?
Yeah, I did have 20.
Okay, just making sure. That's all, Judge.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, Mr. Howard, what was the date of the last arrest?
I don't know. I didn't put it on here. I have to see.
Do you know, State?
No, I don't have the date. Give me 1 second. I can look. Let's see that. are we talking about the resisting obstruction and the driving while license suspended?
Whatever was the
Yes,
last one.
that was the
2/6.
last. I just put 2024. I didn't put the whole date.
2/6/2024.
Okay. 2/6, is that this incident?
No, this is 7/16/2024, if I'm not mistaken.
Reginald Sutton?
Yeah, the
On the
incident date
calendar?
here is
It's
2/5.
from February. It's a delayed arrest, Your Honor.
Yeah, not the date of arrest, we're talking about the date of incident. So the incident for this is 2/5 and then
February. Prior
right,
to
and
that, his last arrest was August the 10th of 2022.
gotcha, okay,
I'm sorry, there was something after that that I was looking at.
okay.
Can I
All
proceed?
right. Date, yes, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So this incident happened on, it looks like February 5th, 2024 at Washington Road and Delau Drive in East Point. Officers stopped the defendant for a traffic violation. He was traveling in the center lane, and this lane is used to turn left, and he was using it to bypass a vehicle. Officers, after speaking to him, discovered he was driving on a suspended license, and then he gave his false name and false date of birth multiple times during questioning to officers. The state is looking for a signature bond through pretrial, no driving without a valid license, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
All right, PD, your time.
Yes, Your Honor, I have no objection to the state's recommendation. I would like to ask the signature bond through pretrial be level 1. He is 59 years old and he did suffer a massive stroke several years ago, I believe 4 or 5 years ago. And nothing further.
Does he work or anything?
He's 100% disabled, Your Honor. He did have a massive stroke. It affected his speech, mobility, cognition.
And so these incidents were after his stroke though, right? You said the stroke was 5 years ago.
Yeah, he told me it was 4 to 5 years ago, his stroke.
Well, it seems to be getting around pretty good, huh? I'm just saying all these incidents were after the stroke.
Well, he can drive.
Okay, well, if it was massive, I don't know if many people have a massive stroke and could still drive, but all right. I will give him a signature bond. I'm just gonna do it through the jail because I assume he's gonna come back. Okay, it'd be $3,500 signature bond. Let me break that down. 500 on the suspended license, 1,500 on the other two. So that's a total of 3,500. Signature bond through the jail. No driving unless he has a valid driver's license. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I guess that's it.
I'm sorry, can you break that down one more time?
1,500 on the obstruction, 1,500 on the traffic laws, and 500 on the suspended license.
And that's through the jail.
Through the jail, yes, I'm sorry.
Right, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Next, we have position number 1, Mr. Brunson. Brunson, yes, Brunson.
This is 24 CR 004862C, Omar Brunson. Charge of 1 count of driving while license suspended and 2nd count giving false name or address.
Second arrest. Last arrest was in June for suspended license NOLO. He's on probation for that out of the city, according to that disposition.
Okay.
Yes, Your
Date?
Honor. Officers were conducting a traffic stop due to the defendant driving through a stop sign. When officers asked the defendant for his license, the defendant showed officers a driver's license via his cell phone with the name Wilfred Wamba Atonfak. When officers continued to ask about the status of his license, the defendant eventually admitted that his license was suspended and the license he showed actually belonged to his friend. The defendant's license was suspended on May 8th, 2024 for a failure to appear. The state's recommendation is a signature bond through pretrial services. Of course, no driving without a valid license and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
No, you're good.
All right. The PD.
That's my case, Your Honor. We would have no objection to the restrictions. We would be seeking a signature bond through the jail.
Okay. I'm going to give him a $1,500 signature bond through the jail. I assume he'll be back. 500 on the license suspension, 1,000 on the false name. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. No driving unless he has a valid driver's license. And that's it. Anything else?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
You're good. Next, we have position number 2, Mr. Schultz. Mr. Lane.
This is 24 CR 004863G. Eddie Lee Schultz Jr. Charged with 1 count of theft by taking. Pretrial.
14/2023 FTA, 2021 shoplifting obstruction NOLO, 2017 shoplifting conviction, 2013 FTA, 06 trespass conviction. That's it.
Okay.
The
Jay?
defendant in this case is accused of stealing an Apple Tablet 6th Generation Pro valued at $900 from the Easy Pawn Shop located at 21 Decatur Street in Atlanta. The defendant took the tablet and walked out of the store while he was stating, "I'm God, don't try me." The state's recommendation is a $1,000 surety bond, given that he has some theft shoplifting convictions in his history, as well as a stay away from the Easy Pawn Shop and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Okay. All right, I'll grant the $1,000 surety bond. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And stay away from the Easy Pawn Shop.
Your Honor, may I just defense speak?
Yes.
Okay. We would be seeking a signature bond, Your Honor. No objection to any of the restrictions.
Yeah, he seems to be a repeated shoplifter of some sort. So that's why I did him a signature bond. A surety bond. And that's a low one.
Was that 1,000, did you say?
Yes.
Okay.
So 1,000 surety. Make sure he understands he needs to stop shoplifting.
Okay.
Next, we're gonna have position number 14, Mr. Walton.
Okay. This is 24 CR 004874F. Gene Walton, charged with 1 count of simple assault, 2nd count of carrying a weapon in school safety zones. Pretrial.
5th arrest. The last I saw was 08 probation, 08, 06 FTA. I think he's homeless. That's all.
All right. State. Oh,
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident that occurred on the 17th of July, 2024, and the 18th of July, 2024, on the campus of Georgia Tech, specifically in and around the area of Bobby Dodd, where some construction was being done, 200 Bobby Dodd Way. Gentleman reported that he just, while directing traffic in a construction area, he was approached by someone walking a bicycle, and the victim, Mr. Micah Smith, instructed the defendant not to cross in the area that was taped off. In response, he reported that the defendant pulled up his shirt and exposed the firearm in his waistband and said, "Who is going to stop me?" and then proceeded to walk through the area that it was restricted. In response to that report, Georgia Tech police reviewed CCTV footage, captured the defendant in that area around 1:05 p.m. on the 17th, and at the area of 200 Bobby Dodd. They used the screenshots from that footage, issued a BOLO. The next day on the 18th, Sergeant Blair, after having received the BOLO and being in the same area, made contact with the defendant. He had a firearm in his waistband with an extended magazine. It was clearly visible from far away. So when they identified this young man based on the BOLO, he already had it was clear he had a gun on his person at that point. Police approached the gentleman defendant here and detained him. He also had a second firearm in the pants he was wearing. So like sweatpants with elastic around the ankle. The second gun was found just hanging against that elastic in the bottom of his pants, not on a holster or connected in any way. He was taken into custody. He has been charged for the 18th when he was arrested for carrying a weapon in a school safety zone, specifically the SCCY 9mm handgun with an extended magazine that was visible in his waistband when he was encountered by police. And then he is charged with a simple assault for flashing his firearm in his waistband while engaged in a verbal back and forth with the construction worker who was directing traffic at the construction area on Georgia Tech campus for the day before on the 17th, Your Honor. Because this incident both incidents deal with a gun and a gun being brought into an area not concealed as would be appropriate, and the use of that gun to intimidate people, we'd be asking for a $10,000 surety bond, Your Honor. Stay away from Georgia Tech campus. No firearms, drugs, or alcohol. And that's 5 on each charge, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Your Honor, my client is 37 years old. He was born and raised here in Georgia. Your Honor, he has not had any violence crime for a long time. The last one was very remote, more than 10 years ago. Your Honor, he is willing to stay away from Georgia Tech. He is willing to stay away from the construction. It is complete misunderstanding. There was no threatening or any kind of intimidation. He was just passing by to drop off the delivery. He works for Grubhub. He does deliver food for different places, and that's the only way that he's been making money. He rides a bicycle, Your Honor, and he has been struggling with homelessness. However, he does have a mailing address, an email address, and phone number, and we would like to request for a signature on bond through a pretrial, no matter what level it is. He is willing to do that. It is impossible for him to have any kind of bond payment as of now. His financial means are very, very limited, and he's willing to do even ankle monitoring if necessary. So we would like to request for a signature on bond through pretrial level 4. Thanks. All right, hold on 1 second. I know that his arrests are pretty remote. Some of them I think the latest was in 08. However, the facts alarm me. The facts of the case. or not? They're a little troubling to me. And as far as the recommendation, let's see. On the, I'm trying to think, on the simple assault and carrying of the weapon, I'm going to grant a $3,000 surety bond. That'll be 1,500 on each. Or I tell you what, 2,000 on the gun charge and 1,000 on the simple assault. Let's break it down that way. With that 3,000 sureties to stay away from Georgia Tech. He is not to have any drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns on his person. The guns that he has should be turned in immediately to the sheriff's department if they haven't already been confiscated. Stay away from all of Georgia Tech. I know there's a vast amount of space in downtown Atlanta, but stay away from Georgia Tech. And is there anything else the state's asking for? Any other conditions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, that's it. 3,000 surety.
Judge, is there no further contact?
With whom? I'm not for sure with whom.
You could put no further contact with Micah Smith. That's the construction worker he engaged with. He actually made admissions about engaging with Mr. Smith. We would
Okay.
certainly not object to that.
All right, no further contact with Michael Smith.
It's Micah, like my child, M-I-C-A-H.
Oh, M-I-C-A-H. Okay, thank you.
Next, we have position number 3, Mr. Fambro.
This is 24 CR 004864B, Anthony Fambro, charged with 1 count of criminal trespass.
29. Last arrest was last month. Trespass obstruction. It's 24 CR 00. It's missing some numbers, but it's open. 2022 a freight conviction. 2019 a capital offense. He was found not guilty. 2019 probation. 2018 FTA. 2017 possession of a firearm by convicted felon, reckless conduct conviction. 2015 probation, DUI conviction. That's all.
Okay.
Oh, and Judge Morrow gave him pretrial last week, so there's a wrap on that.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred July 18th, 2024. The incident location is 2190 Boulevard, Granada in Atlanta. The defendant is accused of trespassing on the property of Carla Roberts. Miss Roberts' property is, of course, that incident location. She had asked the defendant multiple times to leave, to which he refused. Officers were then called and they asked the defendant to leave multiple times, but he continued to refuse. The defendant eventually had to be tased by officers in order to be detained and removed from the property. Our office has had a chance to speak with the victim, who stated that the defendant dated her daughter over 22 years ago when they were teenagers. She stated the defendant believes that he is destined to be with her daughter for some reason, and keeps coming back to her home, walking in and being belligerent. The victim states that her daughter no longer even lives at that residence. On the day of the incident, the defendant came knocking on her door. Her son opened the door and the defendant barged in and went straight to her daughter's old bedroom, locked the door, and barricaded himself in there. The victim states that she filed a TPO earlier this year, but it was dismissed because officers were unable to serve the defendant. The defendant, the victim believes, is a very dangerous person. She feels that her life is in danger. It does seem like the defendant has some MH issues that definitely need to be addressed. She's terrified for her life and she's fearful of what the defendant will do when he's released. And I'm going to check to see if that criminal trespass was against the same victim. But right now, the state's recommendation is a $2,500 surety bond. Stay away from the incident location. No further contact with Carla Roberts. And MHET, no drugs, weapons, alcohol, or firearms. The state is very concerned about this victim's safety given the defendant's actions.
All right. PD?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 41 years old. He has been in the area his entire life. We don't have an objection to the recommendation except for one qualifier. Again, we run into this frequently with misdemeanors. We would like to start with a BHET and send some social workers there. I think that's generally been considered the, and what we've been told by the folks at Emory, that's what they prefer. So I will leave that in the court's discretion. But obviously, MHETs, while they're incarcerated, can take weeks just to get essentially an appointment. So,
and I would ask the court to sound for the victim, just in case she is on the Zoom today. Her name is Carla Roberts.
Carla Roberts. Carla Roberts.
She's on the Zoom, Judge. I don't know if she wants to speak or not.
Do you wish to speak, Ms. Roberts? Yes or no? All right, we'll keep moving. What's the state's recommendation again?
The state's recommendation was a $2,500 surety bond. Stay away from the incident location. No further contact with Ms. Roberts. It was an MHET, but I think we would be fine with the BHET as well. Absolutely no drugs, weapons, or firearms.
Your Honor, if I could add, he has no income. If we could get the surety bond down a little lower, that would be appreciated.
Just briefly, this defendant was released on the 12th of July with an open criminal trespass case. He was given a $1,000 good bond that was then amended to an SOB through pretrial level 3, and the requirement for a mental health evaluation was already issued on his June 2024 criminal trespass case. So this new case is a violation of that bond order. He's already ordered to undergo mental health evaluation. And I believe pretrial, I think that bond will be converted to a surety bond. So just for complete information, a mental health evaluation there is
already ordered.
Requesting.
Would that have been an MHET through the jail or once he is released?
Well, that was written on a bond order that he was given after his good bond was changed, and he was released on the 12th, and he's now back and been arrested again. And so we would request that that be through the jail at this point.
Okay, so it's a 25.
I can just tell you from what Emory tells us, it's not going to happen anytime soon. So, okay, I'll leave that. Leave that obviously to your discretion.
I'll leave that forfeiture of that bond. That'll be a different hearing, but this one will be a 2,500 surety bond. He's got to stay away from there. I don't know what it is. No further contact with the victim, Carla. Is it
Roberts?
Roberts. Stay away from 2910 Boulevard, Grenada. Stay away. No drugs, alcohol, guns, or weapons while on bond. And I think that's it. 2,500 surety.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Number 7,
Mhm.
Mr. Moody. Mr.
24th. I'm
What was
sorry.
that bond amount?
2,500.
2,500 surety.
This is a co-defendant case, Your Honor.
Who's the co-defendant?
Mr. Tuno, that's Anna, what position is that?
Number 13, Mr. Takoy Tunstall.
Still.
Okay. This is 24 CR 004867A, Michael Moody, charged with 1 count of simple battery. Retrial.
6 total. Resident of Tennessee. 2023 shoplifting. 2023 theft of merchandise conviction. 2021 shoplifting Nolo. 2017 stealing conviction. That's for Moody.
All right,
You want the other gentleman?
I can.
9th arrest. 2021 disorderly conduct conviction. 2011 failure to appear. That's
Okay.
Your Honor, if I could just have one moment, I'm sorry, one moment.
Okay.
Okay, Your Honor, sorry about that. I'm ready. This incident date took place on July 18th, 2024. The incident location is 3652 Rosborough Road in Atlanta. That's a diner. Officers responded to a call of a physical altercation at this location. They were flagged down by Mr. Turnstile. Who said they got into a verbal dispute at a friend's house. They left the location to head to this location. While in the car, Mr. Turnstile stated that the argument turned physical and the defendant began striking him and punching him all over while he was driving. He stated he was trying to defend himself while driving. The defendant told officers they were both striking each other multiple times, and the defendant was the one that sustained a knot to his forehead as well as scratches to his neck and right knuckle. Officers didn't see any visible injuries on Mr. Turnstile. The state is requesting a signature bond through pretrial, no further contact with Takoy Turnstile. It looks like they had a previous battery family violence case where Mr. Turnstile was actually ordered to not have contact with Mr. Moody, with the defendant as part of that sentence in August of 2023. So I was going to request a stay away be up to the court's discretion, but we'll just request a stay away from the stay away to be added, I guess, Mr. Turnstile, I guess Ms. Anna will present that. Yeah, no stay away for the defendant then. From the Tennessee address, family violence intervention program, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
So the state is recommending a signature bond.
A signature bond pre-trial, Your Honor.
Okay. All right.
Your Honor, my client is Philip Moody. He is 38 years old. I think it got a little confusing there. He doesn't have any previous violent history. The only history he has is shoplifting or theft, Your Honor. He has no violent history at all. He has one misdemeanor conviction, I believe, for shoplifting. And so I would object to the FVIP. He doesn't have any history that would support that. And as far as I see, the warrant states that he flagged down the police. He does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. There's a lot in the warrant that's not correct. They don't live together. And I'm not sure if there is a stay away, or a previous family violence, but that's not my client. That maybe is the complaining witness who has a stay away. But my client has absolutely no violent history at all. He would like no violent contact with the complaining witness. I don't know if there's an order in place on that they're not supposed to have contact, but my client doesn't have a no contact order with him. And I would ask for the signature bond through pretrial services at level 1. I believe that's what the state requested as well, because he does not have any violent history. And nothing further. I just would object to the FVIP, a 6-month course when he has no violent history. And it is a dual arrest, Your Honor.
I don't know about the signature bond.
And Your Honor, there is one other thing, but I would need to address it in a breakout if a signature bond. I mean, that's what the state has requested, so I didn't ask for a breakout, but I would request a breakout if you are not inclined to order a signature bond through pretrial services.
He's a Tennessee resident, and there's the prior case, so. No, I'm not
There's
sure.
no prior, he does not have a prior case, Your Honor. He doesn't have any violent history. He has no arrests for anything violent, only shoplifting.
In the prior case, Mr. Tunstall was ordered to have no contact with the defendant, Your Honor.
And he was not charged in the prior incident?
No, I guess it sounds like he would be the victim in that prior incident.
Okay. All right, I'll order a $3,000 signature bond. I'm going to order that through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And no further contact with the co-defendant, Mr. Is it Trundle? I want them to stay away from each other. This incident just happened not too long ago. So no further contact between the two of them. And I don't know if you want to stay away or where it's from. Is there a request for a stay away at all?
Not on Mr. Moody, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, just no further contact between the two of them. All right, that should do it.
Next, we go to position number 13, Mr. Tunstall.
24 CR 004873G. And that's Turcoy Tundle or Tunstall. 1 count of battery family violence.
Your Honor, that's my case.
Okay.
This is the co-defendant to Mr. Moody. You just heard the facts. I think what is important to point out is that although both of these gentlemen were arrested, Mr. Tunstall had no injuries. Mr. Moody was a driver, and Mr. Tunstall is alleged to have assaulted him. Mr. Moody had injuries to his face that were visible.
Okay.
The prior arrest for Mr. Tunstall that is concerning is a battery family violence arrest in Cherokee County. It was reduced to disorderly and sentenced August of last year. So within the last year, he was sentenced for disorderly conduct for an assault on Mr. Moody, and the sentencing documents specifically say to have no contact with Mr. Moody. We would ask for a surety bond, Your Honor, $2,000, have absolutely no contact with Mr. Moody and stay away from his residence. The warrants do say that they live together, but if Mr. Moody's statement at this point is that they do not reside together, we would like to know that address and make sure Mr. Tunstall is not having contact and stays away from the address where Mr. Moody is. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And that's it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
I'd like to set the record straight on a few things. My client was the one who was driving, first of all. He was the driver, not Mr. Moody. That's one thing. The other thing is that these two gentlemen do not live together. Mr. Moody lives in Tennessee, and my client lives here in Woodstock. So they do not reside together. So there is no need for any stay away on the part of either because they both have their own addresses. My client, as I said, was a driver. So the fact that he did not have any injuries does not mean he was not attacked. If someone is driving, I don't see how much fighting they can actually do. My client denies that he was the aggressor in this case. He has no record to speak of. There was some incident where he pled guilty to disorderly conduct, and that is definitely not the same as family violence. We don't have the facts as to what was alleged in that previous case. But the fact is, what he pled guilty to is disorderly conduct. So I would ask the court to consider giving my client a signature bond so he can get out of jail. He's okay with the court ordering that they have no further contact. But I think under the circumstances, given his very limited criminal history, that a signature bond through the jail would be appropriate because they don't have to see each other anymore. They live in different states. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, hopefully it's over. Whatever is going on, I will give him a $2,500 signature bond, and that'll be a signature bond through the jail. And no further contact with Mr. Moody. They need to stay away from each other. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And that'll be it.
Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too. Thanks.
Next, we have position number 8, Mr. Moore. Huh? Yeah.
This is 24 CR 004868C. Juwan Moore, charged with 1 count of criminal trespass.
Second arrest, 2021, simple battery against police and obstruction. It's 22 CR 003869C.
All right, state.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident happened on July 18, 2024 at 570 Windsor Street, Southwest, Apartment 2. The victim in this case is the defendant's mother, Nicole Moore. Officers responded to a criminal trespass call. The defendant had actually been trespassed off the property earlier, I believe it's earlier, the previous day, I'm sorry, by Fulton County Marshal, Deputy Hollis, case number 23 ED 294239. And escorted off the property with his things. When Miss Moore entered her apartment, he was sitting on the couch, to which she called the police again and showed them the trespass order. The defendant had been ordered to the property. Our office did have a chance to speak with Miss Moore. She stated that she's his mother. She lives in low-income housing, and by him living there, he's put her in jeopardy of losing her apartment. She gave him plenty of notice to find somewhere else to go, but he keeps sneaking back into the residence when she's at work. She filed for an eviction in December, and he had been evicted then. She wasn't looking to pursue charges, but she was left with no choice to get him removed out of her apartment. She does want contact, but she does not want him to return to the residence. The state is looking for a signature bond through the jail. I know she requested contact, but since he doesn't seem to understand that she does not want him to come back there, we're going to say no further contact with Nicole Moore. A stay away from her apartment at 570 Windsor Street Southwest, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
All right. PD Atai.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no objection to the signature bond through the jail. The complaining witness stated that she wants no violent contact, and it's his mother, so I would ask for no violent contact, but he is, of course, I don't object to the stay away. He has been evicted and he understands that he's not to go back there. But I would like him to keep contact with his mother if she stated that she does want contact with him. And again, no objection to a signature bond through the jail. Nothing further.
All right, State, did you all speak to the mother? Does she still want contact?
Yeah, she stated that she's okay with having contact, but she just does not want him to come back to her house at all.
I think the important information, Your Honor, I apologize for context, is that the defendant in front of you is currently a victim in an open case where his father, also a resident at the same location, shoved him. That was from March of this year, 24. Oh, I didn't write the case number down. I apologize. But at the same residence. Parents also attempted to obtain a TPO in March of this year, and it was denied. They were unable to serve the defendant. He was served with eviction paperwork, so this mother had to go through the process of having this young man evicted from her home, and that he was escorted off of the property, allowed to take his belongings, and then returned. She called the police, and he was inside just laying on the couch saying, "I'm not going anywhere." So we would request no contact at this point, just for a period of cooling off and to acknowledge the fact that there's an ongoing misunderstanding about whose house that is. And this defendant is also a victim. So this has been violent in the recent past. That would be our concern.
Okay. I will give him a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, but I'm going to be very strong about this, Mr. Moore. You're not to return to your parents' home. So that will be a stay away from that 570 Windsor Street. If you go back, you'll be arrested again. No further contact with his mom right now, so that we do have the ample cooling down period. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I think that'll be it.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I don't know if we have anybody else left, but I was able to get in contact with, if we can revisit position 9, Jalissa Powell. Her mother has joined the call, of course, to address the medical condition that we discussed before.
I don't want any verbal testimony. I want to see what medical record.
It's just difficult for me to get a hold of medical records on short notice.
Yeah, well, I take issue and get on to talk about certain conditions depending on what they are. Unless the mother has any documentation or paperwork, I don't want just oral testimony.
She may have documentation or at least doctors' names, or I wasn't able to.
Don't help me. The paperwork, mom should be able to go get them or see if she can let them know why she needs it. I don't know that she may not be able to get it because of HIPAA, but I don't know if her mom is listed as her emergency contact or something on her record. Okay. Well, then let's see what documentation we can get. I don't want any more oral testimony. I've had enough of that today.
Miss
So
Powell,
all we can ask is, do you have any documentation, medical records, or papers regarding your daughter's condition?
No, ma'am. I think I should be able to get them.
Okay. Well, if you do that, give them to PD Atai, to her attorney. And I guess she has your number or something, and she'll be able to get them from you, and then we'll consider modifying her bond once we get the documentation, okay?
Yes, ma'am. I need to find out which doctor she go to.
Okay, PD Atai will have to go speak with her and give you a call on that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Oh, yeah. I'm seeing that. Next, we got position number 15, Mr. Watts.
This is Tremaine Watts. And that number is 24 CR 004875B. Charged with 1 count of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Pre-trial.
19 total. Open case out of Fulton. Possession of a controlled substance with intent. 23 CP 219795. Open battery DV obstruction. 22 CR 001417B. Open loitering, prowling, obstruction. Possession of marijuana. 21 CR 002406B on probation. Possession of a firearm by convicted felon or felony first offender. And another possession by convicted felon. 22 SC 184239. 22 SC 1811068. 2022 obstruction. 2018 probation. 2017 FTA and probation. Another 2017 FTA, got a shoplifting conviction as well. 2017 carrying weapon without a valid license conviction. 2014 criminal attempt to commit
That's it.
Okay.
2014. Okay, state.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is my case. This is an incident from the 16th of July. Police who are familiar with this gentleman were on patrol in East Point on Main Street in East Point on that date at about 5:40 p.m. This is 2848 Main Street in East Point. They observed this gentleman, knew he had active warrants. As you just heard, he's got 2 probation cases. The 2 open cases in state court are actually in warrant status for failure to appear May the 8th of 2024. And he's got an open CP case you just heard about with the $40,000 good bond. They approached the defendant and asked him to stop. He fled on foot and was caught when he was jumping the turnstile to get into the MARTA station. In light of the fact that this defendant is in bench warrant status on 2 cases out of state court for battery, family violence, loitering, and obstruction on each of those, we'd be asking for a surety bond, Your Honor, a $1,000 surety bond, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
All right. PD Kim.
Thank you, Your Honor. He is 27 years old, but he has been here in Georgia for 24 years. And Your Honor, he has not had a job for the last 11 months. And he is struggling to take care of his 1 child who is only 5 years old. He completed his GED. He has probation violation, 2 of them, and FTA, 2 of them. He's not going anywhere. And I do understand that obstruction is a restricted charge. However, he has no funds to pay for any kind of bond. So we would like to request for the minimum bond, $1 cash bond. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to order the $1,000 surety bond. And with that surety bond, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And guess that's it. Where's the stay away from? Main Street and East Point?
No, we wouldn't be asking for a stay away, Your Honor.
Okay, and then no further contact with anyone?
No.
No, okay. Just the basic 1,000 surety.
Thanks, Your Honor.
Next, we could go to position number 5, Mr. Hensley.
This is 24 CR 004865Y. One count of giving false information, second count willful obstruction. Pretrial.
Hensley, 28, has a current FTA hold and probation hold. Also has a he should have went to FS today for a CWAC related charge. 2022 FTA. 2021 ag assault, use of a firearm by convicted felon during a conviction. On probation for ag assault. 2021 simple battery DV. 2020 FTA. 2017 battery conviction. 2015 probation.
Okay. State.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred between October 3rd through October 6th, 2023. Officers arrived at the incident location, 180 Northside Drive, Southwest Atlanta, in reference to a noise complaint. The officer made contact with the defendant, who stated he was running behind on his work route and decided to make a last-minute attempt to collect oil waste from the listed location waste area. When asked for his identifying information, the defendant gave the name Joshua Isaac and the false date of birth of July 16th, 1996. The defendant then abruptly fled the scene, traveling eastbound. The state's recommendation is a $1,000 surety bond, $500 for each count, as well as no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And it looks like he has an open battery with our office, and that case number is 21 CR 001913Y.
All right. PB Cook.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 39 years old and has lived in the area his entire life. He owns his own barbershop. He is married and he has 3 children. Given the nature of the charge, we would be asking for a signature bond. We have no objection to any restriction or stay away, although I don't know that that would be I don't know that would even be relevant in this kind of case.
I'm going to give the $1,000 surety bond, 500 on each. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I guess there's no stay away and no contact provision.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
All right, then that'll do it. 1,000 surety, 500 on.
Next, we will go to position number 4, Mr. Graves.
This is the last case, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. 24 CR 004876F, William Graves, charged with 1 count of criminal trespass.
5th arrest, 2011 DUI conviction, 2009 disorderly conduct conviction. That's all.
Your Honor, this is my case. This is an incident from the 17th of July. Police were called to 2806 Tree Ridge Parkway in Alpharetta, close to 9 p.m. There they spoke to the victim in this case, Mr. Dean Bowler, Bowler, who reported that when he tried to communicate with the defendant about his desire that this gentleman move out, the defendant became irate and damaged 2 chairs at the location. Police made contact with the defendant by phone, and he said he'd returned to the location. He made an admission that he'd broken the chairs, stating that he's gone through a lot in his life. And police obtained text messages that showed the admission to breaking the chairs. We would request a no contact and to stay away from the location. Again, that is 2806 Tree Ridge Parkway in Alpharetta. And we would ask for $1,000 surety bond. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons. No contact with Dean, Dean, Bowler, Bowler, and to stay away from that location. We've been in contact with Mr. Bowler. He may be on the Zoom if we could sound for him, but he's requested no contact and to stay away, which makes sense since he was trying to talk to this gentleman about not living at the house anymore. Thank you.
Okay.
No,
It
we,
is safe.
I would like to request for signature on bond through jail, Your Honor. He broke his own chairs, Your Honor, and that he was trying to move around. They are moving out on August 17, 2024. That's when the lease expires. So they are anyway in the middle of the moving. I don't think he should be getting surety bond for this. We would like to request for a signature on bond. We have no objection to stay away and no contact, even though we strongly prefer to have a no further violent contact. They don't have a children together. They are just roommates. They don't have any relationships. So it should be okay. We just want to make sure he gets a signature on bond. Thank you. I think his father is here online to support him. He also has he's gainfully employed as a data analyst as well.
And is that the father, Dan Bowler?
No, father of my clients.
Well, who's the victim?
The victim's name is Dean Bowler. We could just sound for him.
That's terrible. I can't read my own handwriting. So Dean Dollar, is he on the line? All right. And do we know what the relationship is? Is there friends or what? Or relative or no?
Just roommates.
Just roommates.
Yes, lease is expiring soon anyway.
Okay. I think it already is. If you said the 17th.
August 17th, I believe.
August. Sorry, August, not July. August. Okay. So he has somewhere else to go live, I assume.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I will give him a $2,000 signature bond. What's jail? Stay away from 2806 Tree Ridge Parkway in Alpharetta. No further contact with Dean Bowler. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Do it.
And that was 2,000?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You want to get up so bad.
What level was that, Your Honor?
This is 2,000 signature.
Jail.
Oh,
Was for
okay.
jail. Thank you.
Okay, jail. Okay. Thank you.
And that should conclude the calendar, Your Honor.
All right. Have a good weekend.
Y'all not gonna go?
All right, I'll take the calendar.
Ms. Lewis.
Miss Grace, Judge.
You got
Miss Grace. You got Miss Grace.
Yes, ma'am.
Off the calendar.
I'm sorry, Ms. Grace.
That's okay. One question for position number 6, was there a stay away?
Let's see.
Your Honor.
I said, yes, stay away unless it's medically necessary.
Your Honor, just one question about Gene Walton, my client. He was supposed to stay away from Georgia Tech campus. Can he have a one-time law enforcement officer escorted visit to retrieve bicycle? It's left.
To retrieve his what now?
His bicycle. Yes, of course. I think that makes sense.
Bicycle?
Yes.
All right, he must go back with a police officer. If he doesn't, he'll be arrested.
Thank you.
And position number 5 was $1,000 signature bond or surety?
Let's see, 5. Surety. Hensley is a surety.
And once again, for position number 6, is there a stay away?
Yes, you didn't hear me?
No, ma'am.
Yes, that's from Emory Midtown. Right, that's from Emory University Hospital, Midtown. Stay away unless it's medically necessary for him to be there. Yes, ma'am.
Position number 1, $1,500 SOB jail. Position number 2 is $1,000 good bond. Position number 3 is a $2,500 good bond. Position 4, 2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 5, $1,000 good bond. Position 6, 2,500 pretrial, level 2. Position 7, 3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 8, 2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 9 is a 5,000 good bond. Position 10 is a 2,500 SOB through the jail. Position number 11 is a $2,000 good bond. Position number 12 is a $3,500 SOB through the jail. Position number 13 is a 2,500 SOB through the jail. Position number 14 is a $3,000 good bond. Position number 15 is a $1,000 good bond. Any questions, concerns?
No, ma'am. I think you got it all.
Thank
You here tomorrow?
I'm sorry?
You here for tomorrow?
No,
it's
sir.
It's Judge Williams.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, you'll miss me.
We'll see you next week.
All right. Bye,
Thank you,
everybody.
everybody. Have a great weekend.
Have a good weekend. You too. All right. Bye-bye.